M. 모더 프로듀서 M. 모더 프로듀서 M. 모더 프로듀서
What's up, owners? It's your host, Ray Grandois of Own Your Inspiration, where we take ownership, accountability, and responsibility of our lives. And today we have a special guest, Deanna Alexander. And I'm telling you, this is highly anticipated. She is highly educated, positive, bubbly attitude. I'm telling you, and she's in Spain right now. So let's get this Spanish going on. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But welcome. Deanna, thank you for being on the show. I'm so excited to have you.
Yes.
How
Well,
are you?
hola. And that was quite the introduction. Thank you, Ray, for having me. I am excited to join you on this beautiful Friday afternoon for you, evening for me.
Yes. So, man, where do we start? Let's start here. Who is Deanna? What is Deanna's story?
Who is Deanna? Deanna is light first and a butterfly second. And I reference myself as both because I feel like as a butterfly and as light, you have to go through darkness in order to get to light first. And then second, in order to be the most beautiful butterfly, which is what I reference as one of the greatest insects or animal, however you choose to reference it. But in order to get to that space, you have to go through the most strenuous transition in order to form into the most beautiful form of freedom. So, as the butterfly, I represent freedom. And I ain't always been this somebody. I have not. I was gunned down 13 years ago, February 28th in Houston, Texas. And at the onset of my injury, I was saying random a lot. However, as life continued to life, nothing happens by mistake, nothing happens by accident, and nothing randomly happens. So I eventually learned that I created the lifestyle that I was living when I did get gunned down. So, as the life that I created, that was the result. After that happened, I was forced to view life in a different perspective and create a new life for me. That's how I'm all the way in Spain right now. It took me 13 years to get here, and I'm here with my whip.
Listen, I love the way you articulated that because I strongly believe whatever happens to us is our responsibility, good, bad, or indifferent. Let me give you an example. So I got paralyzed at 14 due to bacterial meningitis. So you would say I was only 14, right? Like, how much responsibility can I take? But reality, my name is Renald Louis Grandois. It's my life. It's my
Yes.
responsibility no matter which way we want to take it. There's
Yes.
some ownership that I must take. If not all, I
Yes.
like to just take all ownership because when the bad comes, it's all my fault. But when the good comes, guess what? It's all mine
It's
too.
your fault. Exactly.
It's my fault
Exactly.
too. And so I
Exactly.
love, love that you said that. You see why I was so excited I couldn't even get my words out, because you articulated that exactly how I imagine and what I believe. And
Yes.
can you give me a little bit more of the if you would like, just more the, so someone could paint the picture. Okay, this happened, and
Yes.
what was the process of that transformation? Like
Yeah.
what was the Eureka moment?
Absolutely. So I'm a firm believer that you create the reality that you want to live. So for me, when my injury first happened, yes, I was mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually unstable. Like literally. Prior to, you couldn't tell me nothing. Nobody could tell me anything. Like, chick, one of them, got them. Male, one of them, got them. My disposal. You couldn't tell me nothing. And that was the life that I lived. And then, like I said, at the onset of my injury, with that instability, it was like, okay, now that this has happened, I feel like and this is my thought process during the time.
Okay.
I feel like my greatest asset, which were my legs, because I used to
Mm.
model, couldn't catch me in a pair of tennis shoes, stilettos all the time, baddest signature walk, all that good stuff. Couldn't shoot a basketball to save my life as tall as I am. However, you put me on that runway and it's going down. So I felt like I had lost what was my greatest asset, and not being able to physically walk forced me to utilize my other greatest asset, which is this. I had no voice prior to my injury. So after I had mouth, yes, I had mouth will check you and intentionally try to hurt you. However, I didn't have a voice. And I saw how I was treated as a woman of color with a spinal cord injury, or what society deems as a disability. I've always been independent. I've always had an independent mentality,
Yeah.
always been wise beyond my years, smart as a whip and wise beyond my years. So my thought process changed. And it was easy for my thought process to change because I was so independent and I wanted to prove myself to the closest people to me, which were family members. At the onset of an injury, family are the first people that will hinder you,
Mm.
whether you realize it or not. They're either going to hinder you by treating you like a disabled somebody, or they're going to hinder you not believing that you still have other abilities that you can embrace upon and utilize and
Preach,
apply throughout the
preach,
world.
preach,
So,
preach.
as I was observing this and noticing this, and also noticing that opportunity wasn't there for me as a woman of color whose sexual preference is another woman. So you got all these strikes against me. It was so easy for me to say, no, I have something to prove, and let me begin to prove that. It was only literally like a year after my injury when I moved by myself to a city where I had limited family members, as in maybe one or two, an aunt. I have 13 aunts and uncles living. I had one aunt in Chicago, whereas Arkansas, my native
Hmm.
state, I had a lot of family members there, and I was hindered by that. So I literally just moved on my own, and that itself was a process altogether. But the transformation for me, transforming into a butterfly, it did not happen until I moved on my own. While I was living with my family members, I wasn't mentally able to see a different perspective because of what, and if you notice, you know me, I don't use the terminology handicap or disability when I'm
Absolutely.
referring
Yeah.
to somebody who utilizes a wheelchair or anything like that. it's an advantage for me, but it may be a disadvantage to society because it just lets me get from point A to point B faster than somebody on their 2 feet. Hello.
Absolutely. Hello.
So, with that, it was like, okay, I'm living on my own. I'm still mentally. Can I curse? Because I got a potty mouth.
Yeah, you do your thing, dude. Live, be yourself. That's one thing.
Okay.
So that's one thing about me, right? I believe what I believe, and I
Yes.
believe even God gave us free will to believe and to
Yes.
do what we want to do. However, what I believe is freedom is expensive,
Yes.
regardless of whatever someone chooses. And I believe this wholeheartedly. In life, we make choices, and every choice we make, there's a reward or there's a
Agreed.
consequence.
A
So at the end
consequence.
of the day, I want you to be you because I'm going to be me.
I am here for it. Well, with that being the case, here she go. I realized that I was still mentally and emotionally fucked up and physically. Yes, I had gotten some education because prior to smart, I didn't have a high school degree because I got pregnant at 17, 16, had my son at 17, and I got bored at school. I felt like I was just too smart and I wasn't learning anything, so I dropped out in the 12th grade. Okay? And then after my injury, it's like, oh, prior to my injury, it was easy for me to apply myself, be a great asset, and have a career. I was a retail manager prior to, had 6 US cellular stores in Chicago, moved to Houston, was starting a job as a collections manager. So, like, even with that, after my injury, oh, who's going to take Deanna serious with not a lick of education? So within that year of me being injured and moving to Chicago on my own, yes, I had gotten my high school, the GED. I had gotten my GED. I could have taken the test and gotten it immediately, but the state of Arkansas required 13 hours of study. I was in a facility where I manifested it because when my injury first happened and I was at TIER, which is one of the top 5 rehabilitations in the United States. I said the second day I was there, I said out of my mouth, my mom asked me how was I doing. I told her I felt like I was in a psych ward. Ungrateful. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I left here, guess where I went? To Arkansas, to
Back
what
home.
was a mental institution. I was the only person with a sane mind and a physical limitation out of the entire building.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it was a huge rehabilitation, but I wasn't getting any rehab. I wasn't getting any physical rehab. I wasn't getting any emotional rehab, and I wasn't getting any mental rehab. They wanted me to see a psychiatrist to pump me up with pills to make sure that I wasn't depressed
Ah.
because that's 98% of the patients and I manifested this. I said that I felt like I was in a psych ward, and lo and behold, when I left a great place, I went to where I said I felt like I was at. So it's about feeling and then saying it, and that's on surface, whether you want it to or not.
Whoa, 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 whoa. So I think I missed that. So you was thinking something, you felt it, and you said it, and
I
then you
said
was
it.
like, and you said you was in a
When I
cycle and you
went
got it.
there, I
So
ended
I
up
talk
having
about this
to
all the
go there.
time. So your
Yes,
thoughts become feelings, your feelings become actions, your actions become results.
yes,
So you
yes.
said you felt
I
like you
felt
was a
like I was in a mental institution.
tuition,
I
and then
that
you
is exactly what I said.
ended up in a
In a mental
mental
rehabilitation. And it was titled Arkansas Hot Springs Rehabilitation, and there was no emphasis on what type of rehabilitation. Because, yes, you had individuals with Down syndrome and they had severe mental challenges. So in the end, it was a benefit for me because I was liked. You know, they ended up doing a news article on me. It ended up being on the front page of Hot Springs, the newspaper, like all of that. I was inspiration and I was liked. And I didn't understand it from that aspect. It was just, oh, let me do something now that I'm in this community. Let me do something to be a part, where it wasn't genuine. Do you understand what I'm
Yeah, I know
saying?
what you're saying.
It
Yeah.
wasn't until after I independently moved on my own and moved back to Chicago where I said, their focus is physically getting me better, and I am mentally and emotionally. How do I fix this? I went back, I went to college, I got a bachelor's in English,
Yeah.
and I was bored, so I kept going and went and got a master's in English and creative writing. And in that moment, I had to do a lot of writing. And that is what helped me in my transformation. Actually writing past experience, writing to my past self, writing to my future self, writing my thoughts and feelings in that moment of how I feel, and writing a book. You know, although it's not a memoir and it's a fiction book, it's based on a lot of real events, whether it's from my life or somebody's close to me's lives or my friends or families. Like, it's genuine, real that people go through. And me having the opportunity to actually get all of that stuff out, that's what helped me to be able to say, you know what, let's start this journey. And I went and got my first set of butterflies, and I've been flying ever since then.
Amen. So this is the deal, though, right? You was in a mental whatever institution. Let's bring that back a little bit. How
Okay.
come you didn't subside to the environment? Because environment plays a major role on how we feel, how we think, and people are the people around us. Like, I'm very particular, like who I spend my time with, who I
Yes,
talk to, because that stuff is real. Someone is negative, and next thing you know, I'm not in a good mood today. Why is that? Because that
yes,
person's energy, or vice versa, someone can be in a really good positive, and it could be contagious. So I know you said the substance you was writing, but you're outnumbered here.
I am. And I'm
How?
unquittable. That's how. No, seriously, because they tried me. Seriously. I was tried and I was tested by family members and staff and other patients in this place, like bullied and everything in this wheelchair, and they're on their feet, and I wish they would. And I made it very
Wow.
clear to them, you can say what you want to say. That doesn't bother me because, yes, I am in this wheelchair and I'm not handicapped or disabled. You present more disabled than me. So me still having that uh aggressive and authoritative and leadership mentality that I had prior to my injury, I had to apply it there. I just had to apply it in a different way. Like now, I'm still going to check your ass. I'm just going to check you in a more polite way versus trying to hurt you.
Now you see, this subject is all about boosting your mental health. You see where the strength is, the leadership capabilities. I talk about this all the time. Man, listen, there's a certain inner strength that you have that I love, and I can appreciate, and I can identify, and I think it's almost a synergy in having the right mindset and the right grit,
Yes, yes,
because it's so important to have that mindset. And as we're talking about that process of you getting there, because like you said, you wasn't there always. And sometimes
yes,
people could listen to like, oh man, how did she get there? How did she get there? She's giving you the jewels. It just you gotta take the notes, because there's a lot.
yes.
Success leaves clues.
Yes. And it's
Wow.
about being intentional too, though, Ray, because
Yeah.
like my number one thing, even to my clients. So I'm currently a mental health professional, got a second master's in clinical psychology, going from a PhD in clinical and health psychology. So I tell my clients now, when they come to me for a consultation, I tell them, I can give you all the tools. We can read about it. We can try this. We can try that. It is about you. If you are not intentional about changing your mind or how you think, guess what? You're going to be stuck right where your ass been. If you change your mind, everything else will follow suit. Once I changed my mind, I became more physically able to live independent. I became more physically able. I became more emotionally stable to help the next individual in a wheelchair. That's where the YouTube channel comes in at. Because it's like, oh, okay, this is not the end of my life. Knowing that this is not the end of my life, I am not disabled. I have more abilities than I do have this lack of limitation of just getting up, walking, and running like Tom and Joe. And that's okay, because I'm still going to get around faster. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, find the positive, find the benefits of any circumstance, any situations. So check it. We all have some type of disadvantage, whether it's mental, physical, emotional, whatever. Literally, you can be homeless. We all have this. It's about how you respond to it and how you perceive it that dictates the actual outcome of being a benefit or a hindrance.
Perspective drives performance.
Yes.
How you look
and
at it.
Performance drives success.
Ooh. You see, my mother always said, if you want something to be done fast, you get a man to do it. If you want something to be done right, you get a woman to do it.
And I say, if you want something done fast or right, you do it yourself.
We lit.
We are lit.
Woo! I love it. I love it. Man, I'm full of life right now. I'm full of life. This is beautiful. Wow. It's all about the perspective. How about
It
being
is.
grateful? What's your perspective on gratitude?
I prefer appreciation, because with gratitude, it's like there's a challenge that you're trying to overcome when you find reasons or things to be grateful to. Yes, I do a lot of gratitude, just journaling, and just gratitude is a natural thing for me. The appreciation is different. So I can easily be like, oh, thank you, Ray. I am so grateful for this opportunity. And the appreciation comes in by how I'm delivering to you right now, how I'm interacting to you right now. That shows you just said it yourself. Oh, this is good. We lit over here. That is because I appreciate the opportunity. So I'm going to apply something different, and I'm going to apply something more than just being grateful for the opportunity. However, not everybody understands the two. Not everybody
Yeah.
understands it from that perspective. So I apply the gratitude and the gratefulness the same way to those who don't know the difference between the two.
Thank you for explaining that, because I think we need to get the life jackets because you're going deep. And I don't know if everybody's willing to swim that deep.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
unpack that a little bit, because what you just said,
Okay.
I get it.
I know you do.
I get it. And I'm like,
I
how long? I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm like, what I gotta teach? God, you sure you want me to be teaching these people? I don't know if I'm the right teacher, because I'm gonna be kind of direct and I'm gonna be like, hey, get it? You
yes,
ain't get it yet? I'm done.
yes, yes.
So let's unpack this appreciation, because like you said, but let's unpack it. Let me see if I can get another example so I can
Okay.
help the audience understand the gratitude and the appreciation, because most people struggle with gratitude because
Yes.
they would admit that they're very selfish, and so they would go
Mm-hmm.
through the process and force themselves to be grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so appreciation, you're saying you use something in your mind, say, okay, I'm appreciative. So therefore, I'm gonna
The
put forth
application.
the
There you go.
application.
The application is different than when you're just grateful. Because when
When you
you're
just
just grateful, it's like there was a struggle and I'm grateful that I overcame that struggle. And that's it.
that's
I'm
it.
just grateful. Whereas you fully appreciate something, there was a struggle and I got over that. And this is how I'm continuing to prevent that struggle from happening.
There you go. I think that's it right there. Something happened, whatever it may
Yes,
be, and that person has a recollection in their memory.
yes.
Ding. And then now they become more appreciative because
Appreciative.
of that
Yes.
incident or
Changing
whatever it
your
might.
mind.
Changing your
You
mind.
changing your mind. Change your mind. Everything else will follow suit. That could be gratitude. That could be appreciation. That could be money. If you
Mm,
change your mind about money, if you want it, you change your mind about it, you're gonna get
I love it. That's true. It's all about how you think about it. And that
it. Yes.
it's so easy if we were able to help people change their behavior in that sense because we're saying it, but it's like to apply it, what do you think can like what else can we do to help people get this concept? Because
What
it's
we're
so
doing right
simple.
now. It is what you're doing right now. That being intentional and appreciative for your journey and being intentional about advocating. This platform right here, this is all you need. This is all you need to help those other individuals who don't have that same perspective that you and I have, or that same perspective that somebody else may have, because you never know what or how you are blessing or helping somebody else just by having the platform and actually opening your mouth and being open to such discussions.
I love it. You're absolutely right because I remember you was texting me. You was like, "You have no idea. Somebody had your book," and I had no clue who the person was, where at what. And I tell
And I
you,
was in
right?
a totally different meeting. I was in a totally different meeting, not for Wowie, for something else. This is United Spinal Association. I was
Okay.
in a meeting with United Spinal Association, the Atlanta chapter, and we were just meeting with different organizations, trying to see how we could connect with them and, just be empowering in the community, get more members, get a little bit more funding, because you need funds in order to run these chapters and so on and so forth.
You need
And
funds to
in one
have
of the
fun.
meetings, hello. Hello. But one of the individuals in this meeting, literally, they was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to connect you guys with Ray." She was like, "I can't pronounce his last name, but this is his book." I'm like, "I know him." Kid you not.
So yeah, so what you was saying, man, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so it was all about the connection with the book and then the
Now,
perspective.
prior to that, we were just discussing how we can, like, it's easier said than done. Like, just saying
Oh,
change your mind.
the platform. Boom, boom, boom. So
Yes, platform.
when I was writing the book, it took me like 2 years. One of the hardest things I ever did in my life, and like the incident of like me thinking, okay, I'm gonna get this done. And I was writing. It was healing for me. The book was really for myself, a healing process for myself before anything for other people. I wasn't concerned about what I was like. This is for me. And then I'm writing it, and then but people was always telling me, "Oh, you're gonna help so many people and so many people." I'm like, we'll see. I hope so. And as time was going on, people still talk about the book, and I forgot. Usually, I forget about the book.
Hmm.
I literally forgot that I wrote a book. That's
That's
not
how
on
you
my
know there's
top of mind.
passion.
Huh?
That's how you know you did it with passion. That's how you know you did it with passion. And anything that you do with passion, it will fulfill that purpose, and the opportunities are going to come whether you are intentionally promoting this or not. The opportunities are there for you because one, you did it for yourself. So going back to how do we get these people to actually understand that? Exactly what you just said. Self. You do things for
Yeah.
you. What feels good for you? Because if it feels good to you, then guess what? It's gonna feel good to the motherfuckers around you. And I ain't calling the people around you a motherfucker, but you get what I'm
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
saying?
I know what you're saying. It's an endearment. It's love. It's love. It's love. I get it. Listen, a lot of people don't realize. So when I graduated college, people, treated me different, as if I didn't grow up in Mattapan, as if I didn't grow up around gangsters and murder. Like I didn't grow up
Yes.
around. I grew up all that. But this because I grow doesn't mean that I don't appreciate the people
There
that
you
helped me
go.
get to where I am today.
There you go.
They may
There
not
you
have
go.
to change, but that's okay. I can't
That is
judge you.
okay.
I can accept you from where you at, but accept me as from where I'm at. I would
Exactly.
hope that you would continue to grow. However, if you
Yes.
choose not to, I can still appreciate you for where you at.
Yes. I appreciate you for where you at, and I'm gonna move around and do something different because I cannot me, and this is just me personally, and I'm going to be honest with you, this is something that actually holds a lot of people back, whether they are injured, able-bodied, not, mental disadvantage, emotional, whatever. A lot of times we are, and you'll notice that I say we so that it doesn't present as a judgment, and
Mm.
I too have been a victim of this. A lot of times we unconsciously, even if we do feel like we're growing, the person next to you, it could be your partner, it could be a family member, it could be individuals at your employer, it could be your career, like within that field. When they're stagnant and we choose to continue to entertain the energetic stagnation, we
Mm.
unconsciously become stagnant in that specific area.
You
So
preaching
what
right
that
now.
means is if in your relationship there's stagnation that you're tolerating, guess what? You're stagnant in your relationship. You may be growing here, and what's happening in that partnership, your employer, your career, it's at a standstill. You know you're bored and you're choosing to tolerate this or do this because the American dream is to struggle, go to work, make money, pay your bills, and don't have no work life balance. That's the American dream. So, with that conformity, mental, this is a mental thing now. So, with that mental conformity, the people around you, you're comfortable in that environment. So, with that comfort, they're comfortable, you comfortable, and you know you bored with this job, but the money is good. The money is good. So, you're going to
They
the
don't
money is
sold out for the
good.
money.
So you're gonna stay. You're gonna stay, and then that's where that lack of growth. You're not growing. With staying, you're not growing at all, especially not in that area.
And that's the a lot of my the key message is to keep going and growing, because you can keep
Yes.
going, but if you're not growing in the right area, you ain't going nowhere.
Hello, and there's a middle ground, and there's something in between that, because you can't just go and grow. You can't. It's something that's happening in the middle, and this is the piece that 95% of humans are missing. Unfortunately, it's only 5% that got it together. That middle, learn, because you're going experience situations, obstacles, challenges, they're arising, they're happening. What are we learning from this? Because how do you actually grow if you haven't learned anything? Otherwise, we just gone keep going and doing the same thing over and over again, looking for a different response from the universe. And now you done defined yourself as insane.
Going nowhere fast on the treadmill.
Ain't going nowhere fast.
Ain't going
Because you
nowhere
ain't
fast.
learning that this might be too fast for me. Let me slow down.
Let me slow
And you ain't
down.
pushing those buttons in order to get to the success of walking that mile.
So for the people who didn't get it, what is in that middle? What is in that 5%? Because
Learn.
sometimes you can say it, and
Mhm.
people are like, what was that? What I didn't get it. I still don't get it.
Mhm.
Because
You,
mind you, people are there's so many barriers or so many infractions or trauma or what did you say earlier? Uh, people's decisions that they make, or our decisions,
yes.
where I was there too, making those bad decisions and just not mentally there,
Yes.
and we just don't. It's not clicking because we're like, okay, what
Mhm.
is that middle? I want to learn what's in that middle so I can go toward my purpose, so I can go live this journey that God has put me on without
Yes.
staying in the same place forever.
Yes. The middle was the lesson. How do you learn the lesson? Easy. The same way you effectively communicate. If you can effectively communicate with yourself, you can effectively communicate with any and everybody. Okay? And not everybody knows how to effectively communicate. So break that down. How do you effectively communicate in order to actually learn the lesson as you're going? Lesson happens, right? Boom, lesson happened. Second, I accept this. So I accept that it's happened. It's a part of my life. Now let me process this new part of my life. I processed it. And processing looks like I know what I did, accountability. I know what I can do. Where do you want to go? Goal setting, right? You process it, and the only way to actually understand what the lesson is by processing it. Without no process, there's nothing you're getting. Time with self allows you to process. Journaling allows you to process. Going to therapy. For those who think that you crazy or you have to be crazy to go to therapy, reality check, boo kitties. If you not going to therapy, something wrong with you. You crazy for not having that outlet, that professional somebody where you can say, I just had a miscarriage and I don't know how to emotionally deal with this. How do I process the loss so that you get pregnant again and you feel your body going through these changes? You know you probably about to have a miscarriage, so you're going to go to the hospital before it actually happens. Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like it's self. Self. I tell my client when they come to me, the first thing I tell them, you can come to me, we can have a conversation about Sarah, we can have a conversation about Joe, Dick, Tom, and Harry. And at the end of all of that finger pointing that you did, Miss Deanna, Miss D, whatever you want to reference me as, Dr. D, I'm going to redirect it all the way back to you
You.
every single time until you are able to say, I experienced this. I felt that during this experience. I was able to accept that I did this in this experience. You know how long it took me to say that I created my injury to happen?
I want to say 10 years.
There you go.
It took me 10 years. That's why I said it.
Yes, like to straight have some accountability and
Mm-hmm.
say, like, what I said to somebody. Because literally, no lie, Ray, it was a whole conversation. I said it. The same way I said I felt like I was in a mental institution, I said it 2 weeks prior to my injury happened. And it was so many signs that was leading up to it because it happened in Houston, not Chicago. And afterwards, I'm like, damn, I lived in Chirac for this many years and I moved to Houston to get gunned down because me and this mouth of mine that was so intentionally negative prior to, I created. I can't think of any other reason why I can point the finger at a relative that I was living with, her baby daddy. I can point the finger at his lifestyle. I can point the finger at everybody else. And at the end of the day, that don't do no comforting for me. No comforting, actual acceptance came until I was able to say, I said, so now I got to reap the benefits of the seed that I sowed. Because it's a benefit for me. Had it not happened, me and you wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be this somebody if it didn't happen.
I strongly believe that as well. A lot of people say when I say it's a blessing in disguise, some people they're like, some people had the audacity to say, is it really? I said, well, let's have
Yes.
that conversation. I said, yes, it is. Because the man I was before, I was going into the what do you call it? Like my grandfather ways. I was not even call a player because I didn't lie. I was just going down the route of what do you call a fornicating lifestyle with womanizing women. Even though I wasn't technically womanizing, but I was all over the place with different women at 12.
Well, you
So
a
I got
handsome
paralyzed at
somebody,
4.
so I wouldn't expect nothing different.
Huh?
I said, well, you a handsome somebody, so I wouldn't expect nothing different.
But so that's fun. I'm glad that you said that.
Serious.
So no, I'm glad that you said that. So when I was young, I didn't really understand what that meant. Oh, he's so cute. He's
Yes.
so beautiful. I didn't know. I'm a kid.
Yes.
I don't really care. You don't care about
Yes.
stuff like that. And
You
so what
don't.
happens is, just like that, a girl give me her number, and the next thing you know, I'm at her house, and things will
At
happen
12?
at 12.
You was a player at 12?
Let me just tell you. So I just told you at 12. So a girl would give me their number. I'm at their house. Fornicating was going down. The only reason I didn't have intercourse because my father said you're gonna get AIDS and you're gonna have a baby, and if you have a baby, don't bring the baby home. You're gonna have to get out. So so in my mind, I would just receive oral sex.
Okay.
And that's what I was pretty much addicted to that.
Yes.
Whatever lifestyle at a very short period of time. So I don't know if I was addicted all the way, but it was almost there.
Yes. Yes.
And so what I'm saying to you is the path that I was heading, 10 baby mamas, maybe 20.
Let me pump your brakes. The universe said, hold what you got. Literally, hold what you got.
Hold what you got. Because there was no effort. Even to this day, married women don't matter. They're with their husband. Oh my goodness, he's so handsome. I'm like, your husband right there. I'm like.
And so, question for you, because, like, yes, I can't do nothing with you. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. So, me saying that, it's not even nothing physically that I'm referring to. Like, you are just a beautiful soul. So, with that, do you think that is a lot of the compliments sometimes? It's just women because they could be with their husbands and they just see you. And the first thing that we know in society is, oh, you're so handsome, instead of, my God, baby, you are just a great human being. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get it from men too. I get it from men. It just looks different. No, I do get it. It's just I'm a man too, so if I see a beautiful woman and she say, "Whoa, you're so beautiful," I'm like, "Whoa, you're beautiful too, girl. I can't look at you. You so I could look, but I can't look. You know what I'm saying? I could look, but I can't look.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying.
But I really can't look.
I really can't look, but I don't want to. I look. I see you, but I don't see you.
Right. Yes.
So that's all I'm saying. No, I definitely know that for sure. And I've done the inner work, as far as
Yes.
therapy, as far as my faith, and what I believe,
Yes.
those things have built a foundation in reading the Bible. I read the Bible like 3, 4, 5 times, audioed and actually read it. And it definitely helped me see why I'm here on earth.
Hmm.
And it is to serve, whatever
Yeah.
capacity is to serve. And so I think me doing that work, just instantly people, they feel that energy,
Yes.
and what they're really
Yes.
feeling is what's inside of me, which is,
Inside.
yeah.
Yes. Always go within. And even for those who don't have it to the capacity that we do, seeking within is so the self work that you do, the seeking within and working on what you have sought out, that is the hardest job, the only job that you will have. Everything else that comes in life is an opportunity, it's not a job. Because everything else, you really don't have to do a whole lot of work to fulfill. Self work is the most work that you're going to do, and it's the hardest task every day on a constant, because there's constant adjustment. Change is inevitable. So you're always going to change. Things around you will always be changing. So you just have to be able to adapt to the changes as they go from within in order to actually grow.
Man, I'm gonna put this on I'm gonna send this podcast especially for my wife. I'm gonna say you need to watch this 3 times before we have a conversation. because
Oh no.
because you don't like, if most Christians would understand this, and
Yes.
that's what I believe. And most Christians don't get this. It's like the work that you put on yourself, you got to put in that work. And they be like, Ray, how do you do it? The hardest thing for me, and it's not as hard now, it was to look myself in the mirror and said, you're not giving your best. You're not at
Yes.
your best.
Yeah.
You don't love yourself.
Yeah. There you go.
How can we get you to love yourself? What do you
Yes.
need? Oh, snap. Remember that little boy we talked about? That little boy needs to heal.
Woo, I just got chill bumps all. The sound machine. Come on. We need the straight up. Like
Once
seriously.
I recognized that little boy needed to heal, who's gonna be there for that little boy? That father that wasn't there. He was there, but he wasn't present. I had his present, but he wasn't present because he was slanging and banging.
Yeah.
And so now that little boy needs a older brother. He needs a father. Who's gonna be that father for him?
Yeah.
Me. I'm
So,
gonna be
can
there
I
big.
ask you
I'm
this?
gonna be there for myself.
Can I ask you this from a spiritual,
Yeah.
not a religious aspect?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
When you was born, who were you born with?
Myself.
When you transition, who you going with?
Myself.
When you had to have your reality check, who was you talking to?
Myself.
Who is your God?
Well, that from a spiritual standpoint, I can't.
Spiritually, not religiously. Seriously,
Not religiously. From a spiritual standpoint, I can't create myself. So when we say God, so I can break this down for you.
Okay.
From a spiritual standpoint, and from a practical standpoint, there's a God with a big G.
Yes.
And then there's another God with a little G. And
Yes.
there's another God with
Yes.
a little G. If I had a father and his name was Ronald, and then I was born and I was named Ronald Jr. You see what I'm saying? God and God. So yes.
I do.
So when I say God, I'm talking about the little G. So if I say myself as God, I'm talking about the little junior.
There you go.
So I gotta break that down in
You're
context.
guiding you. You're
Yes,
listening
yes,
to
yes.
you.
I agree.
You saying and you going based off of what
Yeah,
you feel, based off of I said this. Here you go, universe, because it's
absolutely,
universal. Like the
absolutely.
universe is my God, and my connection with that. You get what I'm saying? Is what allows me to say, okay, this is the move that I'm going to make. This is the move that I'm not going to make. Deanna, who you talking to?
Yes, we would say
Me?
it differently. We just using different words to articulate it.
Yes.
However,
Yes.
the heart of what you're saying, I understand.
I know.
That's why religion and politics can get really
Misconstrued or the lines
misconstrued,
crossed.
messy,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it can get really argumentative,
Yeah.
and it
Well,
doesn't
it
need to
depends on
be.
who you're conversing with. Agreed. Like it really depends on who you're conversing with. And it goes back to that understanding.
Yes,
If there's understanding, then there's no conflict. You get what I'm saying? Like in
correct.
any instance, in any situation, in any topic of conversation. Do you
Because
understand what I'm saying? Do I understand what you're saying? Yes, there is understanding. Go ahead.
absolutely perfect example. Based off, it's not religious, but it's based for Jesus. Jesus
Yes.
said in his word, he said, "I expect you to do more exploits than I did, Father." So if you believe in Jesus, he expects you to do more than what he did.
Yeah.
So how
And
you say you believe in Jesus or God
yeah,
and you not doing more than he did? Because he put
and you're
God in
not doing
you
more,
and you not doing what you're supposed to do. You a
and that's what
liar.
I
You
was
a hypocrite.
about
Not
to
you.
say.
I'm just saying a person that is not.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
I do. And it goes
So,
back to what you just said about yourself though. Like literally when you was like, I learned that my goal or my purpose is to be of servant. What are you doing right now? You are a healer just like Jesus was. What are you doing with this platform? What are you doing? Your goal is to intentionally help others and help them to learn how to heal if the conversation don't heal them in itself. There you
and
go.
the beautiful thing about this conversation, I'm glad that you challenged me and said, "What a God!" And it's like, "Yo, not religious." I'm glad we
Right.
able to have this discourse and be real with each other. Because I said, "Be yourself." I'm gonna be me, and you be you, and then we could live. And
Yes.
that's what it's all about, man. Man, listen, I love the love right here. This is right. This is what I did. This is what I did it for. This is what I did it for.
Now you're gonna have me texting you every month, like, okay, you got me on your schedule for this
Oh
month.
no! Oh,
Let's
listen,
chat.
listen, 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 listen. It's love that you always welcome. It's love,
Okay.
and I'm only getting better and better what I'm doing because I wanted to get a This is the best interview thus far with no internet issues. I wanted to get another computer to get more RAM because I'm running a streaming.
Yes,
We're not streaming, but we streaming. If that makes sense, we whatever. But
it
yeah,
does.
technical stuff that I'm not. I'm learning all this technical stuff with all this streaming stuff, and it's a lot. However,
Yes.
uh, I'm going through the process and the learning curve of doing the back end stuff. People just see the front end. Oh, this is
Mm,
beautiful. The interview part, this is just the easy part. Then I gotta go to the back end and do all that little instance it's stuff.
yes.
You know what I mean? And
Yes, the do.
yeah, the back end stuff is always just
Especially when
like,
it comes to technology. Especially with the
oh,
technology aspect of it. I get it. Trust me, I get
woof.
it.
And
I get it.
I think I'm pretty good. But actually, I'm actually getting really good because I done spent at least before we had like 2 weeks before the interview. I spent at least almost 60 to 50 hours researching
Mm,
of the technical, like the stream deck. I've been had my mic. See, look, I didn't even have my light on. See, look, you see, just different things, like little stuff. I forgot to put the light on, like just a whole bunch of this lighting. The virtual cam, I couldn't use that because it was running too much. Man, I'm blabbing off a whole bunch of stuff, but you know what I'm saying. It's just it's a lot.
I
It
do.
could be a lot. So
And
I'm
it can
super
be a
grateful.
lot, and it's a great. It turned out great. So there we go.
Oh no, it turned out
Appreciation.
amazing.
That's the appreciation. There you go. The gratitude is knowing that I had to go through all of this, I had to do all of this, and we still did it. The appreciation is look at the results, right?
Oh, we didn't even talk. We didn't even. Wait till we break this up. I don't even know. It's gonna take me. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. I don't want to think about that. But we got so much goodness in this. We going viral. I'm just saying it right now.
We going viral.
We going viral. I'm just gonna say.
We
I'm gonna put
going
it out there.
viral.
We're going
We
viral.
said it.
We
We
going
are
viral.
already viral.
We already viral.
We
And matter
already
of fact, I'm gonna
viral.
even change the word. We're gonna be contagious. I like the word contagious.
There
We're
we
gonna
go.
contagious.
I like it.
Positivity contagious. Because the real intent is to spread the positivity and to spread the love
Yes.
and to spread that contagious love for transformation, even if it's just a little. Because at the end of the
And
day, I
hope.
know, huh?
Spread hope.
And
Spread that
hope.
hope. A lot of people have lost hope. A lot of people have lost their faith. A lot of
Yeah.
people have lost their beliefs or their understanding. A lot of people have lost their knowledge. So
Mm.
without that knowing, they believe all the lies.
Mm.
So we are intentional about spreading the knowledge of all the possibilities and potentials that these individuals have.
I love it. I love it, man. This is the reason why, because it was so. I started my podcast, I think, 2 years ago. I did about maybe 40 episodes. I got tired, and I restarted it back again. And the crazy, it shouldn't be crazy, but I post a podcast.
Interesting.
I immediately people. I'm like, what? That fast? In the first hour, I got people listening. It made me go,
That's how you know.
wow.
That's how you know that you are doing exactly what, and the response. How did the response feel? Felt good, didn't it?
Felt great. Oh no, people was listening, so it was just the audio. So
Yeah. Oh,
I didn't
even
put video.
still,
Yeah,
even still, how did it feel to get the response that you got within that hour?
it
You
felt
had a
great.
lot of people. There you have it. That's what you feed on. That's the appreciation. And being able to identify that I did this, the happening, remember?
Yeah,
And yeah, all of these challenges may have come, and that's to me
yeah.
to have such a great response immediately.
Immediately, people need
And
it.
it can only enhance. It will only enhance. More people will listen. More people will watch. They're going to share it with other individuals, regardless of their circumstances and their conditions. Because, hell, I feel like we just rapping in general, regardless of what one got going on. So it's beneficial for humans. So it's going to spread like that contagiousness that you speak of. It's gonna spread like a virus, baby.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Man, we can go on for hours, and we will. But let's put this in the world. I was gonna say something, but I'm like, we're gonna put this in the world, and we gonna continue to spread this love, continue to do what we do. I really appreciate your time, your positivity, your insight, Deanna, and I want to know before we leave, how is Spain? Because we got so
Uh-huh.
much to talk about, but like how is we can go for another hour. How is Spain going?
It is everything when it feels good and it flows good, that is confirmation and validation for me that it is good. And what I mean by that is before coming, yes, in the United States, it was a lot of stress, but none of the stress was pertaining to my move to Spain. got here and everything has been flowing appropriately. Visa documentation submitted, just waiting for the approval. Like everything just has been flowing. No issues, no problems. Getting through the airport was a piece of cake. Going from Madrid, the train ride from Madrid to Malaga has been a piece of cake. It is just completely different. And when people ask me how is it, I tell them I wake up when I want to, I go to bed when I want to, I see clients when I want to, and I do my admin work when I want to, and I still get paid damn good because regardless of what hour I am doing my fulfilling my task, I am applying myself. So I'm always reaping the benefits regardless of where I'm at in the world. It's different. It's different. Like literally, it is. I encourage if you feel it, meaning like I'm just over this type of living. Like I'm over the go to work, pay bills, work hard for somebody else, do this for the man, and and I'm forgetting about myself. If you feel that little bit of something in you, break yourself free and go. Because literally, hell, I'm a block away from Topless Beach. So that's how footloose and fancy free these people are. Like across from my where I'm at, it's another apartment building, and I know this man was butt naked on his balcony. I know he was, unless he had pants at his ankles or his knees. I know he was naked. So that freedom, and it's not sexualized like breast and topless beach. It's not sexualized like it is in America. So, like,
Yeah,
if you have that inkling, go because literally for me, it is night and day. I have always desired freedom. I've always desired work life balance. I don't work for anybody. I fulfill a lot of great opportunities and I get paid for it.
yeah,
So, I've always wanted to be able to fulfill these tasks and opportunities and do it at my leisure and still have an abundance of income from doing it at my leisure. And I got it.
absolutely.
I found a country that allowed that. Like their laws are work life balance. So if
I
you
love
want
that.
it, if you if it's in you, I encourage you, go get it. Go get
I
what's
love it. I
yours.
love it. Well, I'm coming to visit Spain, so I don't know when,
Come
I don't
on.
know how, but I'm coming somehow, some
You
way, and
coming.
I'm gonna bring the equipment, the cameras, and we're gonna do this live. We're gonna do like a live thing, and it's gonna be popping. It's gonna be like, oh snap, oh your inspiration is Spain. It's
Yes.
popping. I'm gonna rewind
On
this
the beach.
back, and then we boom
We're gonna do it on the beach. So I'm looking
on the
forward to it.
beach.
On the beach.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Deanna. I really really enjoyed this interview. This is all I have. I'm gonna go drink some water and I'm gonna go celebrate myself and I'm gonna celebrate you because this is what I do it for. This is what I do it for.
I loved it. Well, thank you for having me, Ray. It has been a pleasure. And from day one, when you open your mouth, it is always a pleasure just to connect with a like beautiful soul because not all souls are beautiful. So what you're doing, you keep doing it and don't let nobody tell you that you're doing something wrong because there's no such thing when you're such a beautiful soul. So thank you.
My day is made. Listen, I usually would like have something like constructed. I don't. I'm just gonna let it be what it gonna be. And that's all I
Yes.
got. I'm just gonna be. I'm just gonna let this. I'm in my zone. Like I'm feeling it. I'm loving it. And so, Deanna, thank you again. Thank you very much. And we gonna do this again.
Yes. You
I
let me
don't
know
know.
when.
I don't know when, but we gonna do it again. And we gonna continue to keep this conversation going because I definitely feel the synergy. I definitely feel the love, and I definitely am confident. Believe people are definitely gonna grow from this conversation.
I believe so too. Thank you so much, Ray.
It's been a pleasure. All right, Deanna. Till next time.
Yes, sir. You have yourself a great rest of your day.
You too. Keep owning it.
Okay. I always.
Keep owning that
Peace out.
thing.